What is up, my people? Welcome back to Blue Chip Prospect. Today is a very good day. I'm going to do my first top 16 of the 2025 NHL Draft, and boy, oh boy, it seems like it's going to be another very good year for whoever picks in the top 10 or so. As of right now, the real top tier prospects of this draft starts at number 8, but obviously, being so early in the season, there's plenty of time for all of this to make absolutely no sense whatsoever by the end of the season. So please take the time to like and subscribe to help grow the channel and reach more people, and let's get into it. So as is tradition, I always have an honorable mention or two, and there was no way I was going to do this list without including Charlie Trethewey. He's my type of defenseman, a solid defenseman defensively with size, who's physical, but also can run a power play with a heavy shot and vision. Not the most electrifying skater by any means, but solid nonetheless, but gets things done. He's a work in progress, but he's an August birthday, so there's plenty of room, and honestly, I expect a big jump in the list as we move closer to the draft. Basically, he's a stud. So to start this thing up, we start with Jackson Smith from the Tri-City Americans. Smith is a left shot two-way defenseman who stands at 6'3" and weighs in at 190 pounds. He's big, he's strong, he's mobile, he's physical whenever he needs to. He's basically a top-end athlete package with good sense. He moves the puck well from his zone with a crisp first pass and can make plays at the blue line in the offensive zone. I wouldn't expect him to blow off the roof with points in the NHL, but he will move the puck efficiently and defend at a very high level if he keeps developing that way. He had 29 points last season in his first full WHL season and was very good at the Linka Gritsky just a couple months ago. Definitely a top 4 package if all goes well. And at 15, I follow this up with Milton Gastrin from Modo in the J20 National in Sweden. Gastrin is a big enough fella at 6'1", 183 pounds with leadership qualities as Team Sweden captains at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup. Also one of the best player in the tournament. Gastrin is a strong skater and he uses it to carry the puck inside and finish plays at the net. He's not the most beautiful handler and probably not the most skilled player out there, but he sees plays with and without the puck. He has a solid shot with a knack to getting open, and he has details in his game. He seems to have the tools to be an effective, responsible middle six center who can play up and down the lineup in the NHL in the future. And at 14, I have Joshua Ravensbergen from the Prince George Cougars, and this is very unusual for me. I very rarely have goaltenders in the first half of the first round or even in the first round at all, but the mix of size, athleticism, technique, and aggressiveness from Ravensbergen lead me to believe that there could be something special here. I know that for some reasons, everyone, including me, who talks about prospect online, we always say that goalies are voodoo and that we know nothing about it. But when a guy is 6'5" and can move like he does, square up outside his net with shooters like he does, and post up and cover the whole space like he does, and find lines of sight with traffic like he does, voodoo or not, there's not many 10D who look like him at his age. And at number 13, I have Jake O'Brien from the Brantford Bulldogs. O'Brien is very young. He's a right shot center with tons of skills who just came out of a point per game season in his rookie year in the OHL. He's not small at 6'2", but he's quite light at 170 pounds, but he competes for pucks like he's the biggest player on the ice. Offensively, the game is there. He has the handling and creativity and vision to make plays. He has the drive to bring the puck to the inside and decent enough skater to be first on pucks and beat defenders with shifty little moves on transition. He needs work to round out his game, but that's just normal for a guy his age in his second OHL season. I like the potential with O'Brien, and I wouldn't be surprised if he made the jump into the top 10 by mid-season, but let's wait and see. And at number 12, I have Malcolm Spence from the Erie Otters in the OHL, and I'm calling it right now. If the Detroit Red Wings miss the playoff again and go for a forward again, Malcolm Spence is the guy. I'm not as high on him as most people, and I doubt that he moves up from here, but he's a big 6'2", 200-pound forward who plays hard, skate hard, compete for every puck, and have good skills. If that's not music to Steve Yzerman's ears, I don't know what is. You can think of a Danielson, but on the wing with maybe a little bit more of a one-on-one game. He's also on the older side, being a September 2006 player. He actually missed the 2024 draft by like 7 days, if I'm not mistaken, but that doesn't make him a bad pick, just a lower ceiling one with a high floor and a highly translatable pro game. So at number 11, I have Logan Hensler, a 6'2" right shot defenseman from Wisconsin in the NCAA. Hensler is definitely a work in progress. While he's shown to be able to create offense on the rush by jumping in and even starting the counterattack with his fluid stride, he's also shown that defensively there's significant polishing to do. That's where Wisconsin comes in. That's a great place to learn to play defense. If I'm not mistaken, they had the fewest goals against last season in the entire NCAA. Finding consistency offensively as well as learning to make better reads against established offense will be key for him. He's a great athlete with high-end skating, so defending the rush and starting the transition should come naturally to him, but he needs to be more assertive and just be harder overall. His offensive game is good, but not good enough to be the only selling point. And entering the top 10, I got Caleb Desnoyers from the Moncton Wildcats, a former first overall pick in a QMJHL with size, skills, and a detailed game. Desnoyers is a center who stands at 6'2", and he has that game that just translates well to the NHL. First, every time you watch him, you see the same level of effort and compete. He doesn't cheat for offense, and he always supports his defenders. He's got very good skills, and he's very good one-on-one, but he keeps his teammates involved in the play. He's not a do-it-all type of player. He makes me think a little bit of Shane Wright in his draft here. Not the same level of offense or even close to the same type of shot, but a guy who moves through space using give and goes and short passes, who creates offense by moving pucks quickly and repositioning. He's got legit skills and hockey sense, but he's not the most creative player out there. I'm excited to see what he does this season after an almost point per game rookie season in the QMJHL. And at number 9, I have Lynden Lakovic from the Moose Jaw Warriors in the dub. Lakovic is a 6'4" winger who can move pretty well and who can keep the puck through traffic. He's had an okay season last year with 39 points in 68 games, but not exactly eye-opening or anything like that. But I liked his game quite a lot. He has soft skill for a guy of his size, and he can skate pretty well. He has some natural playmaking abilities, and he's poised and patient with the puck on his stick in the offensive zone. He gets to the inside, but can also keep the play alive along the board using his body and length to shield the puck and wait for support or a better play. He started the season really well, and if he keeps the pace mixed with his athletic tools, I think there could be something there. Another year, another Russian phenom, you guessed it. At number 8, I have Ivan Ryabkin from Dynamo in the MHL. Ryabkin is 5'11", 198 pounds according to the MHL website, but as far as I know, this means absolutely nothing. Ryabkin had an amazing season last year. If you filter it by age, he had a better under 17 season than Mishkov, but if you filter it by draft year, which makes more sense to me, he had the third best D-1 season in the MHL after Mishkov and Demidov. And when you watch them play, they also pretty much fit in that order in my opinion. Ryabkin is like if you took Demidov and Mishkov, merged them together and make a complete player, but brought everything down a notch. Like, he's the best skater of those three, but everything else is a notch under. He doesn't have the vision and handling skills of Demidov, but he's really good. He doesn't have the shot and hockey sense of Mishkov, but again, they're really good. He didn't start the season as well as I thought he would, but honestly, you don't really need a stat sheet to know how good he is, so it doesn't really bother me. But obviously, if he starts putting up numbers, you might jump a couple spots because he's really good. This one might be a little bit out of the left field, but I was his biggest fan last season, and I'm even more of a fan right now. So I have Justin Carbonneau at number 7. And it's not because of his electric start of the season. Everyone who accepted to have the tiniest talk about prospect with me this summer had a glimpse of the love that I have for him. I was talking about him way before he scored 12 points in his first 6 games of the season. The thing with Carbonneau is that he's got it all. He's a dynamic skater and a dynamic puck handler. He can pull all of his moves skating full tilt while looking away, finding targets for his on-tape passes, or to fool goalies and rip a laser from mid-range. If I didn't use the word dynamic twice already, I'd say that he's a dynamic scorer also. He's creative with the puck, he anticipates pace without the puck, he's smart, he's skilled, he's confident, and he's not 5'7", 128 pounds. He's actually 6'1", 190 pounds. So he's powerful, he's big enough, and he's dynamic. What is there not to love? And at number 6, I have Anton Frondell from the Djurgården organization in Sweden. Frondell is a left shot center who stands at 6 foot and 196 pounds with tons and tons and tons of skills with the puck. The biggest issue is actually just finding ways to watch him play. But other than that, he destroyed the J20 National last season with 39 points in 29 games and got some time in the Allsvenskan, but didn't get too much ice time even though he looked like he belonged. Frondell is a bit like Carbonneau, kind of got it all, but with even more skills while also being a workhorse. He has top-notch stick handling and flashy move, which he can do at full speed. He's a dual threat. He can make the most impossible passes just like he can rip the puck from distance. He skates hard. He works hard. He's strong on the puck. He's super smart, and he has a great sense of anticipation. He's always at the right place at the right time. I'm excited to watch him play as I didn't get the chance to watch that many games, but from what I've seen, mostly internationally, he looks like a stud. And at number 5, I have Matthew Schaefer from the Erie Otters. Schaefer is a left shot defenseman who stands at 6'2" and is one of the youngest, if not the youngest player in the draft. He was the first pick in the OHL and had a really good rookie season. He played really well in the OHL. He did really well at the U18s, and he did even better at the Linka Gretzky. Schaefer looks like a future elite shutdown defenseman with a playmaking touch. He's smart, he's skilled, but his most prolific attribute is by far his skating. He's an effortless skater with a competitive defender. Unfortunately, he's out with a mononucleosis right now, so you won't hear much about him in the first couple months of the season, I guess. But as it is right now, he looks like a Jake Sanderson with a touch more offense at the same age. So any team who picks him should be really happy about that. So at number 4, I have the big 6'5" center from Brandon Wheat, Roger McQueen. It's not every day that we see a player of that stature who can handle the puck like he can and isn't an awkward skater. He's not necessarily fluid, but he's a capable skater. He's on the older side being an October birthday, but he had a point per game season in his 17-year-old season, and he started this season with 11 points in 6 games. So that's good. When you watch him go, he basically looked like a bigger, slightly slower Kirby Dach. Same strength on the puck and competitiveness digging for his own puck. He has quick and compact hands like Dach at the same age. He weaves through traffic and bulldozes his way to the net, park himself in the low slot and make plays from the flank. He has an adaptability to his game because of his unique combination of size and skills. If he keeps the pace and the skating keeps getting better, he's going to be off the board really quick come draft day. Remember when it was a two-headed race between Misa and Hagens before Misa had a still excellent but unspectacular draft -1 season? This debate is no more, especially that Misa has mostly played on the wing in the OHL, but he's certainly not far behind. Misa is a left shot forward who's sometimes winger, sometimes center. He stands at 6'1" and he skates like the wind. The way he started the season with 12 points in 5 games is very promising, and his 10 goals speaks for themselves. He was always a good shooter, but he just took it to another level this season. He skates through coverage, he jumps in pockets of space, he transitions the puck with ease and creates offense on every shift. You don't want to turn over the puck in the neutral zone against him because he's just gone. He's gone. Off the rush, he's basically unstoppable, and in the zone, he makes good reads and he keeps moving, turning defenders and creating scoring chances. There's no doubt in my mind that Misa will put a ton of points on the board in the NHL. He needs to focus on detail and support, but think of Stützle in the NHL without all the scuba diving thing, of course, but that's one hell of a dangerous player. At number 2, I have my favorite player in the draft, which is Porter Martone from the Brampton Steelheads. And for me, if there's one player that might have a chance to take that #1 spot away from Hagens, it's him. Martone is a 6'3", almost 200 pounds power winger with overflowing skills and creativity. He's on the older side, just like McQueen, but he already had a 70-point season last year, and he started this season with a ridiculous 13 points in 5 games. Martone can really play the game any way he wants. Some night he's a little bit on the soft skill side of things, trying to dangle everyone and make high-end making plays from the outside in, and some night he's north-south bulldozing his way through defense on his way to the net. Sometimes he advances the plays through giving goals, sometimes he goes through everyone while somehow keeping possession of the puck. He has a hard shot, he has passing skills and vision, he's strong on the puck, he's hard-nosed, he skates well, he's competitive, he's hard to play against, he's the creator of chaos in the offensive zone. The team that picks Martone will get a guy with incredible tools, but also a guy that looks like he will thrive in the playoff where there's no space and you need to make it yourself. And finally, at number 1, I have James Hagens from Boston College. His season hasn't started yet at the moment of recording this, but with what he's accomplished last season, he deserves the number 1 spot no matter what. It's basically his to lose at this point. It will depend on the type of season he puts together with Boston, but he's already had the 4th best season in the US NTDP as a draft -1, and to put it into perspective, he had slightly better numbers in his draft -1 season in the USHL compared to Macklin Celebrini, but Celebrini did it at 16, while Hagens did it at 17, so take it with a grain of salt. If he puts together a Celebrini or a Eichel type of season with Boston, then he goes first for sure. If he puts up a Kessel type number, then I could see a team going with the big power winger instead of the 5'10" center with very good but not crazy good season in the NCAA. But wherever he goes, Hagens is a dynamic talent who's got everything but size. He's a great skater, maybe not a Jack Hughes great, but still very, very good mobility overall. He's a solid scorer from close to mid-range. He has vision for days and the creativity to go with it. He hangs on to puck to make the best plays. He's a master manipulator, attracting coverage on himself and pulling players out of position all the time. He's super smart, probably the smartest player in the draft, and he doesn't cheat for offense. He takes care of his defense, and he comes back to support the D and start the transition. He's the full package, but in a small format. I'm not sure is Jack Hughes good for a small center, but I also don't think he's that far behind, and it might be an attainable level. So there it is for the first top 16 of the year. So overall, it's a great group. As of right now, I don't think that draft is as deep with high-end talent as last year's draft, but the top 8 or so seem similar in talent level, but it's a bit too early to judge. As always, hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a like, please. See you in the next one. Peace.